Thank you for your purchase of the Carcass cart from Mud Creek Manufacturing. We're going to make a short video of how to assemble your cart. Here are your parts that you'll need to assemble your cart. Purchase your cart, your bolts will come in a package like this. We laid them all out here so that it'll be easier to grab them and assemble your cart. These are for the pull tongue, the gooseneck, the handles, the main body assembly bolts, and your axle bolts. You won't need a lot of tools to put this together. We're going to do it with electric impacts. You're going to need a 3/4, a 9/16, and 9/16 wrench, and 3/4 inch wrench, and a rubber mallet. The easiest thing to do when you first start putting the cart together is to do the sub-assemblies. There's 3 lefts and rights. And when you assemble this, just put the bolts together loose. And once you have it fully assembled, you can come back and tighten everything. There'll be 3 of these, and if you put it together this way, you'll realize later on when you go to tighten them that there is an order to put the bolts in the way they are. Now we got our 3 sub-assemblies here together. We're going to move on to the rear axle. This will be the layout for the rear axle assembly. Carriage bolt, square hole washer, your sleeve, the nut, the rear axle, sleeve, and then the nut and your reinforcement. Now when you assemble this, make sure that the grease zerks are to the outside, and the newer wheels have a Delron bearing washer already on there, so we'll no longer need washers. So you start with the carriage bolt, the square washer, reinforcement of the sleeve, making sure the grease zerk is to the outside, and then the nut to the inside, and then the reverse side be the axle bolt, the sleeve, the rear wheel with the grease zerk to the outside, the reinforcement bracket, and the nut. And this is the way it should look. We're going to do the pull tongue. And lay it out on the table so that the yoke and the handle will be timed together. If you get it to lay flat, the handle and the yoke will be the same. And you'll need the self-tapper 1 inch by 5/16. And we'll use the impact. That's your pull tongue. Well, the front axles. This time the grease zerks will be to the outside. A regular washer, a sleeve, last remaining washer, and the locking nut. We'll repeat the same thing on the other side. The normal washer, the axle washer, the sleeve, the axle washer again, and the other lock nut. There again, leave everything loose until you assemble it on the cart. Now we're going to assemble the pull tongue to the front axle. We're going to need a 3/8 by 1, 3/8 zip nut. Put it in with the flange to the inside, like this. Only bring it up flush on the side. Flange to the inside. Only bring it flush. And you bring bolts through into the center channel. Once you got them in there, then that's the final whiz nut. Put the shoulder to the inside again. And to the inside. Cart upright and looking at the bottom, place the bat wings on the left hand side of it. That'll make the cart right-handed, or it doesn't matter, you can reverse the direction of the cart and change it, and all the holes are actually the same, so you can reverse it from left to right. Now we're going to put the reinforcement brackets on using the 3/8 by 3/4 inch carriage bolts. And when you put them on again, leave everything loose. It'll be easier to tighten when you do your final assembly. And on this is the front of the cart, so you want to leave this bolt out because the gooseneck actually fits in that, and we use a 3/8 by 1. Second reinforcement bracket will go on the same way. Make sure the angle is to the top and leave the center bolt out. And if you notice, this is why you run the carriage bolts the opposite direction, so you got room in here to tighten your bolts up. Okay, now we're going to assemble the gooseneck into those reinforcement assemblies using the 3/8 by 1 inch carriage bolts this time. Now when you put the final reinforcement bracket on, put the angle to the inside. In this one, all 3 bolts can be put in. There's no other brackets that go on here. And always make sure you leave everything loose. And again, if you get the bolts in there right, when you put your wrenches on, they won't lock on. Alright, now we're ready for the rear assembly for the final set of holes. Just lay it right on top and use the 3/8 by 3/4 inch carriage bolts. Okay, we're going to put this together upside down so the grease zerk is to the top. Start with the regular washer, the axle washer, and you got your axle sleeve. Now place the last axle washer. Front wheel assembly on. With the nut. Now once you have the cart fully assembled, go ahead and tighten all the bolts. Something like that. Now we're down to the handle bolts and your 2 plastic caps. So you can go now and put your plastic caps in. Use a rubber mallet or a plastic one. Now use a dead blow hammer to seat the 2 handles together firmly.
Yeah.
Make sure when you assemble the handle that it's turned out away from the cart. You finish up with 1 3/4 inch bolts. Now we'll do the final adjustment on your tongue. You run the 3/8 bolt in until the handle works smoothly. This will be your jam nut, and this will